Hello guys, today we're telling the story of how the dismembered body of a young female was discovered at the PW Bridge refuse site on the 20th of June 2022. So on that fateful day, right, a group of young men were out at the refuse site, looking for scraps like they usually do at the PW Bridge in Kubwa, Abuja. So they were looking for scraps when they discovered some bags, and excitedly, I guess, they opened those bags thinking, oh, they must have found some good scraps. Unfortunately or fortunately, they discovered dismembered body of a young female packed in those bags. Shocking and terrible thing. Now, these men raised alarm as to what they had found, and people in that area began to gather to see for themselves if it was actually true. And shockingly, it was true. More crowd was gathering as the news was spreading so fast like wildfire. And this tricycle guy was also passing along the PW Bridge when he saw the massive crowd. Wondering to himself what could be happening here, he decided to stop and ask questions. And when he asked, he was told that pieces of human bodies were discovered in bags at the refuse site. This guy could have walked away after hearing that, because the news alone is gory, right? Really, really graphic. But he chose to take a look. To his greatest shock, when he looked at the bags containing the human parts, he recognized the bags. I'm sure this guy must have felt, am I dreaming or something? But it was real. He had picked a passenger the night before, which was on the 19th of June 2020 at the PW Kubwa area. So according to this tricycle guy, this passenger called him to pick him from his house in PW area of Kubwa. He said he had some things he needed to take out of the house, scraps. That was what the passenger told the innocent, unsuspecting tricycle guy. He said those were scraps. And they negotiated for 1,000 naira, as it was more like a charter. He booked the tricycle for himself alone, and it was already late in the night. It was at about 11 p.m. So the tricycle said he picked this passenger and they drove off. As they drove along, approached the PW Bridge in Kubwa, the passenger asked him to stop, that he needed to dispose of those scraps. And of course, the tricycle guy had no inkling. He stopped and his passenger disposed of the scraps, allegedly. But seeing those bags at that point containing those parts, all he could remember was the night before, as the event replayed in his head. And he also remembered seeing blood stains on the bags, but he didn't think those could be human blood. In fact, he had to clean his tricycle, according to him, when he got home, clean off the blood stain from the tricycle. But seeing those bags with the human parts, he began to connect the dots. So he immediately informed the chairman of the Tricycle Association as to what had happened the night before and what he thinks actually happened and who could be responsible for these bags. So the chairman of the Tricycle Association immediately informed the police. Thumbs up to that man. He did the right thing. To begin with, thumbs up to the tricycle guy. He saw something and he said something. Now that is how we should live in our society, to reduce crime to the barest minimum. So when they informed the police, I'm sure the police, interrogated the tricycle guy, and at about 4:45 p.m. that same 20th of June 2022, the tricycle guy led a team of police officers to the residence of his passenger. This passenger of his turned out to be a pastor and an apostle with the Freedom Chapel International in Kubwa. He's said to be heading their branch in the Buhari area of Abuja. So Mr. Kelechi Amadi was arrested at about 4:45 p.m. that same day. He was arrested alongside his father, who happens to be the general overseer and bishop of Freedom Chapel International, pardon me. Bishop Amadi A. Amadi was said to have been a member of the Assemblies of God before he left the Assemblies of God, as he was said to have said the doctrines of the Assemblies of God were not in line with his beliefs or something like that. So he left and formed his own church, Freedom Chapel International. So after the police arrested them, they were said to have been moved from the Kubwa division to Garki in Abuja. And there has been news going around that Kelechi Amadi had admitted to the crime. However, news also have it that Kelechi informed the police or disclosed to the police that his father, Bishop Amadi Amadi, was the one who killed the girl, allegedly. The story says Kelechi was asked by his father to call the girl, who is alleged to have been Kelechi's girlfriend. And so when he called the girl and she came, he left the girl with his father, whom, according to the rumors around, the father ended up killing the girl. Now, these remain speculations and rumors until the police comes out to put out an official statement to confirm this report. It remains alleged. So we also understand that Kelechi was dismissed from the Nigerian Navy, and it is said that he had some bad records. We don't know exactly what those bad records are, and that he had repented and his father ordained him as an apostle in his church, and also a pastor who is heading the Buhari branch of Freedom Chapel International. Now, this whole story leaves me wondering, who was the victim, or who is the victim? It is said that her name is Anita, and at this point we're still asking, who is Anita? Who knows Anita? If she was Kelechi's girlfriend, then someone must have known her, at least have her picture, or know her family, at least something to put out there. Who is Anita? If you have relevant information as to who the victim really was, please do well to contact realcrimeuncovered@gmail.com or send us a message on our Facebook, and we'll be sure to confirm your reports before we publish them. This is a developing story, and we will be sure to update the public as soon as we have more details unfolding on this story. In the meantime, the suspects are still in the police custody. The police, I'm sure, will do what they know how to do best. They will get to the roots of this matter, and they will take the necessary steps. We understand that Kelechi's wife, 29 years old, a woman who has 2 kids for him, has since disassociated herself from her husband as well as her father-in-law, as she did change her name from her husband's name back to her father's name. And on her Facebook status, she has proudly indicated single. Now, this is a developing story, and it's really sad that in this day and time, human beings still carry out such dastardly act on their fellow humans. The world is not safe, guys. We don't really know who to trust. So be safe out there. Be a good citizen. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your emotions. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to people around you. And always be a good citizen. This is still a developing story, and we will be sure to update you as more details unravel. I remain Dorcas Ige, and I love you all. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like it, share, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel.